Listening Library presents Captain America, the Winter Soldier, The Secret Files by Marvel Press, adapted by Alison Lowenstein and Tomas Palacios, based on the screenplay by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, read for you by Tom Taylorson.
Memorandum. To S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent, redacted. From Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. Subject, The Winter Soldier. During our investigation, we recovered the following top-secret files. These records have been obtained through S.H.I.E.L.D.'s most advanced form of spy technology, nano-camera and sound recorders, security cameras hacked by S.H.I.E.L.D. personnel, as well as recorders hidden in plain sight in objects like pens, watches, phones, and computers, to name a few. After careful consideration, we have agreed to allow you limited access to these documents. This information is vital to the safety of S.H.I.E.L.D. As we look back at the events involving Operation Winter Soldier, we can see the strengths and weaknesses of S.H.I.E.L.D., and in order for you to be a vital part of our organization, you must be able to analyze these files, both physical and digital, and understand their importance to the future of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the world. Sincerely, Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. Briefing Number 1. The First Avenger. Wars are fought with weapons, but are won by men. General Patton. The world was at war, and America was sending all its young men off to fight. Everywhere you went, you could see posters of Uncle Sam asking Americans to take their parts in the battle. Steve Rogers, a scrawny and sickly kid from Brooklyn, just wanted to be a soldier. But his poor physical health prevented him from enlisting. He knew there were severe consequences for forging information during the draft process, yet that didn't stop him from traveling to various recruiting centers and trying to enlist. One recruiter after another grabbed a huge stamp and slammed it down on his form. The stamps all read the same: 4F. Rejected. Knowing he could not apply twice at the same location, Steve said he was from Hoboken, New Jersey, Paramus, New Jersey, Brooklyn, New York, anywhere to try to get into the Army. But the response was always the same: you're not good enough, not strong enough, not fast enough. Not enough. Steve's best friend, James Buchanan, or as his friends called him, Bucky, took Steve with him to the World Expo in hopes of cheering him up. But Steve left Bucky and wandered around on his own. Ironically, he found a recruiting center. There he met a genius scientist named Dr. Erskine, who told Steve he could get him into the Army, but it would involve being a part of a very special project. After having attempted to enlist in 5 different cities, Steve accepted his offer. What did he have to lose? Steve asked the doctor why he chose such a small and scrawny person. His reply: because the strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power, but the weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion. At the same time, he met Peggy Carter, an agent of the Special Scientific Reserve who, like Steve, worked very hard to gain the respect she deserved in the Army. She might not have been weak, but she was a woman. Women were supposed to stay home, but Peggy Carter was like Steve and wanted to help. Steve was smitten. He felt like his life had just begun. A few weeks into basic training, Dr. Erskine told Steve that he had created a super soldier serum, a serum that would grant him peak physical abilities. He informed Steve that the serum would not only affect his muscles, it would affect his cells as well, and create a protective system of regeneration and healing. Steve's metabolism would burn 4 times faster than the average human's. The serum would amplify everything in the mind as well. So good would become great, but also bad would become worse. Steve had the mind and fortitude of a soldier, so, fearless, he went into the lab and emerged a super soldier. He was no longer a skinny kid. He was a muscular man who had the strength of an entire army. Dr. Erskine reminded Steve that he must stay who he was, not a perfect soldier, but a good man. Suddenly, a spy seated in the gallery of spectators observing the operation shot Dr. Erskine. Steve ran after the man and tracked him down. The spy was a part of Hydra, a sinister organization bent on taking over the world. Hydra was led by the Red Skull. Before Dr. Erskine came to America, he lived in Germany where he had created the super soldier serum and injected it into a German soldier during one of Erskine's early trials. The serum turned the man into the Red Skull, with a creepy red face and a heart that was driven by pure evil. It seemed the spy shot Erskine so he would not share the serum with anyone else. Red Skull wanted to be the only one with that power. Steve Rogers wanted to go to Europe to fight Hydra, but history repeated itself. Steve was told he couldn't fight. Instead, America used Steve as a spokesperson for the Army. He became Captain America, a living superhero. There were comic books based on Captain America, and a hugely popular traveling show in which Cap, as he was now called by the locals, showed his strength and his belief in the Army. Captain America had become a song and dance act. Finally, the super soldier was sent to Europe, but it wasn't to fight the war against Hydra. Instead, it was to perform. Steve was upset and hurt when the real soldiers heckled him during his Captain America show. When Steve found out that all the soldiers were distressed because half their platoon had been captured, he empathized with them. Then he found out that his best friend, Bucky, was one of the abducted soldiers, and Steve decided to give up the life of a showman and start the life of a soldier. Armed with a shield created by inventor Howard Stark, the father of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, Cap went deep into battle, fighting Hydra and Red Skull and saving the platoon. Sadly, Bucky perished while fighting the enemy. He and Steve had an intense battle against Hydra aboard a speeding train somewhere in Europe. On a later mission, Steve Rogers crashed a plane that doubled as a hydrogen bomb somewhere in Antarctica. The first Avenger, Captain America, sacrificed his own life to save his country and the world. 70 years later, Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. went to Antarctica after discovering a weird anomaly in the ice. They dug it up and discovered Captain America. Now, awake and adjusting to the 21st century, this super soldier is ready to fight for freedom. Briefing number 2. First Encounter. The first trickles of morning light reflected on the Washington Monument, casting shadows over the city. As the people of Washington, D.C. awoke from their slumber, Sam Wilson made his way through the desolate streets. Besides the footsteps of this early riser athlete, a silence enveloped the political center of the United States of America. As Sam passed Independence Avenue, he pounded by the Capitol, which gleamed with the first bits of sunlight. He made his way past the Lincoln Memorial, where the statue of Honest Abe watched over the city. But he didn't stop to notice the beauty of the solitude that morning in D.C., or the famed sights that could easily fill up a tourist's day. As the morning grew, Sam reached the reflecting pool on the Mall, an outdoor area that usually bustled with people, but that remained empty in the early morning. The only other person was a solitary runner who moved so fast he appeared almost as a specter or an animal running to catch its prey. Sam watched in awe as the figure came at him. "On your left!" the runner called out as he zipped past. Sam was determined to catch up. His competitive nature always came out on the running path, wanting to beat others on the road. But this time, it wasn't about beating another guy's time. This was about learning the secrets to the magician's tricks. But the other runner passed him again, and again. It felt as if he was making loops just to intimidate.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?